Okay, we should be in there right now. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, you're loud and clear.
Okay, so, just for the record, this is Aaron Murakami on the line with Eric Dollard, and I just want to make sure, Eric, that I have your permission to, record this little call and, either make it public or let a few, trusted people be able to hear this so they can get your take on this whole issue with Ray Savant.
Okay, that's what's happening. That's the plan.
Okay, so let's see. We're doing this a little bit earlier than I expected, so I didn't get a chance to write up the questions and stuff, but it's, pretty easy and pretty straightforward. Now, so, the first time you and I met in person was, I don't know, is maybe close to 2 months ago. Is that right?
Yeah, about a month and a half, getting on 2 months.
Okay, and so, the whole reason that you came up here to begin with was because I invited you to be a speaker at the conference.
Right.
And you came up here and spent about a week at my house. And, for the most part, we're, looking for, tires for your car and some other stuff. And then we basically worked on the PowerPoint presentation.
Right.
Okay, and so once that was done and, we put that in the binder for you and everything, and basically, you went back down south to the bush to be able to work on your talk and, writing hundreds of pages of notes and stuff. And after a couple weeks, the plan was basically you're going to come back up here, stay with me for a few days, and then we'd go out to the conference. There'd be the conference. You'd hang out for a while because there was some parts and stuff that I put you in somebody that I put you in contact with who had a bunch of parts, and somebody was going to be picking those up and stuff. And the plan was for you to, go back down to your place and basically work on the book, which was a companion to the presentation. So all that right there is correct, right?
No, that's all correct, yes.
Okay, so that's pretty much what happened.
Right.
Okay. So, during the conference, as far as anybody, as far as I knew, everything went perfect. You had your presentation. It was about 2.5 hours with maybe about 30 minutes worth of questions. Okay, and then so at the end of that, there were some donations raised at the very end, which, we don't have to go into all the details of that. But so what happens is a couple days after that, I wound up getting a email from somebody basically attacking me for trying to sabotage some fundraising efforts for the organization that you're involved in, but there was never any conversation about this organization having any participation in the conference. Would that be true?
Yeah, also there's something additional, is I heard something via email, which I request people never communicate with me by that medium, but that I was informed the next morning as I was trying to figure out what parts I was going to need and order them off of eBay for the projects here. I was informed that I wasn't supposed to spend that money, like it wasn't really mine. And, of course, that put me in a rage. Right.
And so, like, when I got the email, griping at me about, basically I was told that I was in the chain of command at the organization and not respecting the leadership and this and that, when in fact somebody who is trying to solicit the paid attendees at the conference, they're the ones.
Well, let me get this clear right now. This organization that they represent is not EPD Laboratories; it's Aether Force. EPD Laboratories has been hijacked, and it's caused a very difficult complication right now, including the loss of all the GLOM, which now is not sent here.
Okay, so with the EPD Labs, which is your organization, and EPD just happens to be your initials.
Right, Eric Paul Pollard.
It is your organization, and you obviously have a very clear mission about it, which evidently some other people who are involved with it have their own ideas about what's going on. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, not only do they have their own ideas, but they're antagonistic at the basic purpose of what's supposed to be going on here with the municipality that I'm in and the government aspects of stuff, which is what EPD Laboratories is put here for. Now it's all of a sudden it's something else, and all these projects, right as they're forming, are threatened.
Okay.
By this Aether Force takeover of EPD Laboratories.
Okay. Now, I just want to make one quick comment, is that when I received this letter griping at me for doing something which, in fact, they are the ones who did at my conference, bypassing the leadership of the conference, kind of disrespecting that organization.
Well, I was never informed of any of it at all.
And I wasn't either. So when I got that email, I was surprised that they had made up in their minds that there was any issue to begin with. And so not only did I get an email from somebody, but Ray Savant, also, known as Techzombie or known as Mohammed, whatever he wants to call himself, sent me an email also saying, well, we need to respect the leadership and blah, blah, blah. Are you with us, Aaron? And this has all been posted in the forum. And basically I snapped back to basically, set it straight that, look, don't send me this condescending email, insulting me, accusing me of trying to sabotage something that they're doing, which they had no permission or had no right to do at the conference anyway. And then what I get is this email attack from Ray Savant accusing me of being a liar and all kinds of stuff, and he sees what's going on here. And so within a few days, I know you're up here, staying a little bit outside of town. And as I'm learning more and more, it's basically been determined that, from what I heard directly from you, from somebody else that you work with that, chooses to remain anonymous at this point, who you consider to be one of your buddies, who also has lived out in the bush with you, that there's evidently a serious problem with this person named Ray Savant. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when I posted something in the forum, the trials and tribulations of a coyote at my home, I posted that, and at the very end, I'm just kind of having fun with it and stuff, but at the end, I let people know that there's, some so-called nefarious elements surrounding you who are pretending to help you, when in fact there's, something very wrong going on, and the end of their games is going to be near.
Yeah, well,
okay.
It's the story of my life. It's happening all over again.
Okay. Now, what happened was you basically posted that your organization is being hijacked. And so what happens is, within a couple posts, Ray Savant, as Techzombie, posts in there accusing me of being a liar and everything else, and saying, and basically saying that these issues that supposedly you're having with them now is all because while you're up here at my home, staying out at my friend's house a little bit outside of town and staying out there by the bush, that I'm up here brainwashing you and manipulating you and all this kind of stuff.
It's not possible for anybody to do that to Eric Dollard.
And these issues, these issues that have been going on, where you clearly have an issue with Ray Savant being a primary negative force, working with the organization, hijacking it. True or false? All these things were going on before you and I ever personally met.
Oh yeah, it was. It's just me and my partner, who works on this stuff with me, were just completely blown away by when these people arrived and the way they shoved themselves around and snapped at me and broke equipment and invited people to come here that had caused disasters in my life in the past and resulted in a violent confrontation in a public parking lot. This guy, Ray Savant, really just bringing all kinds of good stuff into my life.
Uh-huh.
He's basically poisoned my organization.
Right.
And the whole thing is, other than the prime people, there's 3 people in my organization that are on the track, and they're all Bell Telephone orientated, including a 4th person, which is a government official. This Savant and the rest of these people have no business in an organization like this. The only reason that he was taken on was to do kind of a public exposure of what did Eric's home look like when he wrote on the energetic form. That's all I really wanted to do, and it raised enough money to get this building fixed up. But now all of a sudden it's not my building.
Right.
And these guys basically plan on pushing me out. I don't know what they plan on doing with the building. I don't know, because these people don't think rationally.
Right. So with Ray Savant, Techzombie, I remember seeing in the Eric Dollard thread at Energetic Forum that suddenly someday here's this person named Techzombie, and he got ericdollard.com without your permission. And
the stuff that appeared, I didn't even know about it. Somebody told me about it. The stuff that appeared in there had me absolutely horrified.
Uh-huh.
And then I tried to write a guy a letter, and it got sent back. And then finally I demanded that he come to Lone Pine, and I got to set this thing straight. And I thought that was good and well done. And then one of my other associates calls me and tells me this guy has put something out on the internet in my name that I'm supporting some kind of patriot cause or whatever thing, which is, it just invites you to get in trouble. And I didn't even know about it. And my partner, who's a board member of my organization, the principal board member, said we have to get that guy out of here.
Right.
So I don't know. See, I hear something from one person, I hear something from another person. I have to take all those as isolated signals that don't necessarily give me the whole phase angle. But now every single person that I'm associated with, some of these people way back in my life, are all saying, what in the hell is going on here? So now I have to say the same thing.
Right. So, so Ray Savant takes it upon himself to get ericdollard.com and start posting all this, basically taking a combative stance against the world and using your name as the tool, which is going to help save the world and all this other stuff for some cause that you were not even aware of. That's basically what he was doing with this ericdollard.com to begin with.
Well, that's what I was afraid of. I'm really not interested in getting sucked into the Israeli-Arab conflict.
Right.
I really don't want any part of that.
Okay. So now with EPD Labs, your organization, without naming any names, basically you were told that you would have this lab, you could work in peace. All the bills would be covered, and you can just go about your business and do what you do best, which is all the electrical engineering stuff and the actual work involved with what needs to be done down there, right?
Right. And to start with, a certain amount of it is for the municipality that I'm in. There's
right.
certain needs here, and in trade, I'm given access to easements and other things for my work, and this is exactly, why I came here. This has been going on long before I got the name EPD Labs as an official logo for it. Some of the stuff that's going on, that's unfolding here, is over a decade.
Right.
I've been working on this stuff my entire life.
Right.
Now I'm trying. There's no hope of ever putting back together what I had at Landers, but I have a good opportunity here to produce basically a self-sustaining engineering operation where I don't really need to be getting funds from the public or crying for money. All was needed and was told to me that I would have was a place to operate out of, and I have the ability to make things happen. And what's really disturbing to me now is these people are calling me crazy and saying that all this stuff that I want to do is some kind of nuts thing. I don't know. This savage is saying that I'm not supposed to be climbing telephone poles. Well, that's what I do as an existence. As a feral human, I have to be out there exercising every day. I can't be a blob in front of a screen. Otherwise, I'm going to get sick and die and be stupid just like them. I have to do that, and I can do it. To have this guy blurt this stuff out and then to turn around him and the other hijackers of EPD Laboratories, a.k.a. Aether Force, now to turn around and call the whole reason why I came here and the thing that I'm involved with the government here is some kind of insanity and screw the whole thing up has me in a violent rage.
Right. Well, see, what Ray Savant did was, somebody mentioned about, their concern about you climbing the poles.
That's nobody's concern. It should never even been talked about on the air.
Right. And so Ray Savant posts a question which actually wasn't asked, and he said, "Whose ridiculous idea was that? Good question." And then he posts in all capital letters, "It was Eric Dollard's ideas." Making it look like, oh, this Eric Dollard is, he's got these, crazy ideas and stuff. And
well, let me tell you something about my crazy ideas. My crazy ideas have rebuilt entire Navy ships. My crazy ideas have built 25-acre antenna fields. My crazy ideas got me the endearment of the United States Navy, Bell Telephone, and RCA. The only problem I have with my crazy ideas is the swines that come in and they can't stand it and destroy the whole thing after it's finished. And that's exactly what these people are doing all over again, and I need them out of my organization.
And so, clearly, I have absolutely nothing to do with any of these issues going on of why you have a problem with Ray being a part of the organization, misrepresenting it and everything. So is it true that all these claims that Ray is concocting out of thin air about me up here brainwashing you, would you say that's completely and totally BS?
Oh, there's no sense to that at all. I don't allow that to happen. You can't do that to me. Okay. Well, let me explain. Okay, how the onset. Okay, when you responded, to hearing about my dilemma, of course, your reaction was highly negative. My first inclination, naturally, as a feral human, is to mitigate or retard that energy, not accelerate in that direction.
Uh-huh.
So there is no way on earth that you could manipulate me, nor can anyone else manipulate me into a situation. And if you manage to do it, and I find out, you're going to have teeth marks all over your face. So we can just throw that idea right down the toilet bowl.
Okay, and it's true that these issues existed before you ever came up here.
They existed the day Ray Savant came to this building, and brought me hell and disaster.
And clearly, this was all before you and I ever met in person.
I don't think I've even talked to you before that.
Okay. So, that makes it clear that Ray Savant is clearly a pathological liar concocting all this BS. And basically what he did was walked into your home, sat down in the middle of the living room, and now he's making demands of what kind of beer needs to be in the refrigerator.
Yeah, that's a coarse way to put it.
What
they do is they call it the camel's nose in the tent.
Uh-huh.
First the nose comes in.
Right.
And a little more, and all of a sudden I finally hear that he's going to be a board member of my organization, which is absolutely prohibited because not only does he have no Bell telephone experience, but the guy's a security risk.
And he's hell-bent on some type of personal so-called holy war deal.
Some jihad is over, whatever. I could, as an individual, I always try to support everybody's, ideas and beliefs and learn from the thing, but it can't be part of my organization. And then, obviously, it's malevolent because it claimed it was going to help me, and now it's trying to destroy everything that's going on. Has created, basically, I've lost the whole situation. It looks like the whole thing's down the bowl. This could very well be the last that, I can't try it one more time. These people really have made a mess out of the whole thing.
So with Ray Savant, some of your personal dealings down there, he clearly indicated that, and it's evident from some of the stuff online about his motorcycle and some of this past fighting stuff, that the guy admitted he used to, beat up people for fun?
I don't know. He's got some kind of violent thing. He has a real hard time controlling it, and it causes these contortions in his body. And he told me, he used to be involved in violence against people. And then when I, initially met him and I was complaining of, my problems and all that, he indicated that he could send people to screw him up. And I told him I can't talk about things like that.
Right. So he's openly talking about being very willing to have his friends commit illegal acts by going out and harming people.
Yeah, I have to expect that this guy, is going to keep going on a jihad to try to destroy everything that I'm doing. I'm really happy about that, and the renegades that have followed him are right now in the process of destroying my entire operation here as we speak.
Right. So, clearly he's very twisted, with when I read this description of how he did his motorcycle and has this, massive. Well,
the image he puts out on the internet of him explains everything. I can't, I have a phrase for it. I don't know how appropriate it would be on the air. But do I want to be involved with some guy that has fantasies of raping white chicks?
Right.
That's the bottom line.
And so, when I first posted a reference to that online, he came in trying to make a joke out of it and saying that, well, first of all, making a joke out of it, and then he says, that's all a part of his past, or, something like that is his story. But evidently, the present is not his past, but while he's down there at your shop and stuff talking about how he can get people to hurt and intimidate and go after and, beat people up and stuff, obviously nothing has changed, and the way he is conducting himself in your presence is exactly what he used to do in the past. So essentially he is lying that all this stuff is in his past, and he's still twisted, and he is still a psychotic, violent individual.
Yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, and so, with that being said, so there's another issue is that Ray, and this is before you ever came up here, he basically was very strong and willful with you.
Well, he actually threatened me. His brain doesn't function, and the other guy had the same complication, and so they claimed they wanted to help me move some equipment, but they couldn't follow instructions, and it got to the point that they would do the opposite of everything I was saying. And when I got frustrated, the one guy, who's the rogue element now in my organization, storms out in a violent rampage. And this guy Ray, corners me later and tells me, "You never talk to me like that again." Well, that was, what am I supposed to say? The guy's a savage. He's breaking equipment. It gets me frustrated, and then it's just turn around and, strong, basically, primordial strong arm offense against me. And then he brings this other guy here that was a complete tweaker in my past that wrecked all the Landers operation amongst the help of us, invites him here.
Right.
Under the guise of getting the notebooks back, and it results in a violent conflict in a public parking lot with my name on it in the town that I have to operate in without me even being asked about it.
Right.
I can't have any of that. And then, as you as my business partner in publishing my works, then he turns around and harasses you by email. I can't. It's out of control. It's out of control, and the rogue elements in my organization are supporting it on top of that. So they have crazy ideas. So they're no longer part of EPD Laboratories. EPD Laboratories, as far as I'm concerned, is being completely reorganized to only the Bell System people, and everybody else can take a hike. That's where. Now,
another thing is that it has been demanded of you. Anybody that knows your work and has been following your posts and stuff knows that in Energetic Forum you've laid out, countless pages of, diagrams, all this kind of stuff. And, that forum has kind of helped you have a vehicle where it has established traffic and you're getting donations and this and that.
It completely changed my life from being destitute with a Sabotage car until now, I have something on my fingertips if it doesn't get blown away.
Right.
So, so why would I want to change something like that?
Which, brings us into the issue that it has been, to my understanding, demanded of you quite a few times that you should immediately stop having anything to do with Energetic Forum and you need to stop posting in there. Is that true that has been demanded of you?
Yeah, that's been pushed in front of me a few times. And I basically have to say it's not happening because I don't screw with something that works. Right.
And so, one of the things that Ray Savant is doing is talking about how, he's trying to destroy my personal business, and he's very open about the fact about, defamation of character against me, trying to, very willfully damage my business. Somebody has to have a lack of any kind of common sense to be able to do something so stupid right there in the public when it's going to come to the surface that everything he's saying is a lie, which we just verified during this short conversation. And one of the things he's saying is, well, at Aether Force we're going to have the best design and the best forum ever, and this is where the real science is going to happen. and Ray Savant is saying, and Eric Dollard will follow me there. What do you think about that kind of comment?
It's meaningless.
So he's living in some fantasy world about all this kind of stuff and making up lies against me. Supposed to be representing the organization while he is disrespecting you by talking about what a bunch of crazy ideas you are coming up with that's making them all, drop their face into their palms. He calls it the double face palm. So I mean, it's very disrespectful for him to, on one hand, pretend that he's supposed to be supporting you and everything, and then turns around and basically makes you look like an idiot. This guy is basically just inserted himself in your organization unwelcome, and so when you first heard about him, suddenly you were told that, hey, some guy named Muhammad is coming to film your work. Is that basically what your intro to this stuff was?
Well, I mean, the thing is he came to Lone Pine, and I first met him there, and then, I listened to, his thing and what he was into, and we, basically partied for a couple of days.
Uh-huh.
And then we put together the, the Life in the Bushes video, which was really it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a very positive thing on the internet, but I don't want to go any farther with it. But then he comes here under the guise that he's supposed to help. He's going to help, with getting the building cleaned up and getting stuff moved around. And he brought some guy that was going to videotape this and that. And what I needed, the only thing I needed was $30,000 was provided by the public, and I had to show that $30,000 resulted, in real, tangible equipment. It wasn't spent on partying or any of that kind of stuff. In other words, here's the building, here's what we got. This is how far along with the project. I laid out, exactly how much money was needed for what in the future and the whole thing. And he just ran off with some whole other thing. I don't even know what it's about.
Right.
And then on top of that, it was abusive to me while I was here and destructive.
Right.
So at that point, myself and my other associate who, works with me on this stuff here, we were just blown away of, that this even happened.
Right.
That we thought that here now we're finally in a position where we can move forward, and a couple of weirdos are here basically commandeering my whole operation.
Right.
Not alone the stuff they said behind my back.
Right. Now there's, evidently, two individuals who have, helped you over the years, and it appears that they're basically drinking Ray's Kool-Aid, so to speak. Out of being, completely naive and gullible, because after Ray posted all this stuff about, I'm up here brainwashing you and trying to sabotage EPD labs, and all this stuff, one of them...
well, he's the one doing the brainwashing.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And then a third party... who I thought, would be instrumental in keeping all this going, immediately polarized with them. And so basically, all those people are no longer part of EPD laboratories. They represent themselves as Aether Force. They have no connection with EPD laboratories whatsoever.
Right.
Then EPD laboratories has to be completely taken from those people, and we will just operate the way that we normally did in the bushes. It doesn't matter. It's just the thing is it won't be comfortable.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
But as far as the research end goes in the laboratory, that's all lost. So
Right.
the only thing that I can do now is outside plant. There'll no longer be any building. There'll be no way to store anything. There'll be no way to build anything. This whole thing appears to be completely jeopardized. The $25,000 worth of equipment that was going to be donated for the first trial run coming up here in August now is all that got aborted. The rare books and everything that were on their way here, all that's been stopped. Nobody trusts this place anymore, and I figure I'll probably be thrown out of here within 3 months.
So clearly what needs to happen short term for the best interest of you and your organization is that basically said very simply, the people who you want on the board of directors need to be on there, and any unwanted elements such as Ray Savant needs to be ejected from having any kind of participation whatsoever with you, your name, your work, or anything else. And that's clearly what your desire is and has been for quite a while, right?
Yeah. The day that, the whole thing came down when he showed up here, supposedly to help, and all he did was screw everything up.
Right. Okay. Well, Eric, I think this is enough to maybe convince a couple people that, I'm not up here brainwashing you. This is evidently going on before you ever came up, and Ray is clearly a psychotic individual who is very twisted and demented and is willing to concoct all these stories to cover himself. And he has dug himself a hole pretty deep with all these posts in the forum, with all these accusations and slanderous remarks against me, just outright lying and making stuff up. And so I think when anybody gets a chance to hear this, that hopefully it's going to kind of put things straight. Because what I've done is basically addressed each of their points, and in response, Ray never addresses anything that I bring up. It's just slander, a bunch of drama, how, we need all these warriors to come together and rally up support against me because I'm trying to sabotage everything, when clearly he is the one who is problematic and needs to be dealt with, and the whole world needs to see it, because he is living in an imaginary world where he is fighting some war or whatever is going on using your name and your organization, and at the same time is trying to damage my reputation, mess with my business, very openly. So the man evidently is operating at a very, very low level of intelligence, and is clearly a scumbag. And so I appreciate you getting on the phone with me and going over this. Hopefully this recording comes out nice and clear. And before I post this, I will let you know how it came out and everything. And there is, your buddy who works out in the bushes and stuff with you that I talked to him yesterday, and there's a few things that apparently we need to coordinate and stuff, before I make this public.
Right.
And stuff, and so we'll talk about that, and I'll make sure everything is done, with your, complete approval, and we can just take it from there. And so hopefully this call does work out, and that we don't have to repeat this, but it looks like it should work out just fine.
So basically, I consider this a legal document.
Right.
So my statement is made, so I need to see corrections.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Because I've really had it.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is hopefully this recording worked out okay, and I'll make it available, first of all for you and your other buddy.
Right.
And you both can listen to it and everything, and then get back with me and let me know, and we'll just take it from there. I do have one last question about Ray Savant. When I mentioned he's on, somebody named Ray, who changed his name to Muhammad, and suddenly he has some personal holy war deal going on and everything. And when I mention that, he comes back trying to make it look like a joke that, now I'm calling him an Islamic terrorist and this and that, which I didn't use those words. He's putting those words in my mouth. I'm just saying what I said. And then he's like, yeah, then next you're going to be calling me a Nazi. This is what Ray Savant is saying. Would you happen to know who Ray's favorite historical figure is?
Oh, he's completely enamored to Adolf Hitler.
And thinks he's the greatest guy ever.
Yeah, I told him I can't really get into that. I can't make criticisms or discuss the thing, and he really wanted to push the point, how great Hitler was and how much, he could have done for the world and whatever. I can't make judgment on things one way or another, but I can't have that stuff in my life.
but it is true that those words came out of his mouth, and Hitler literally is his hero, Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, basically. He thinks Hitler's one of the greatest people.
Sick. This guy is sick and twisted.
Yeah, there's too many cross phases going on.
Right. Okay. Well, Eric, hey, I appreciate your time. So basically, this is all documented and everything, that all the stuff that these guys are involved in, like Ray and, other individuals, literally have the plan at some point to throw you out of your own organization, saying that you're not needed because Polakowski can do the work and this and that. And this has been planned for quite a long time.
Right.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's completely sick and twisted. And so, like I mentioned to John Polakowski in the forum, that, he either knowingly is a part of it or not, but something has been promised to him, and he's saying, well, what is it? Tell me what this is about or whatever. And I didn't say anything, but that's what it's about, is that the plan is to literally kick you out because there's obviously some conflicts, between what you believe EPD Lab should be involved in, which it is your organization, and that's at odds with what Ray and somebody else wants, and they basically see you as a stumbling block to their own agenda, whatever that happens to be, and kick you out and have John do all this work. So
exactly. That's what they have planned.
And so that's what I alluded to without saying anything to John Polakowski, and for John Polakowski to come in there following up right behind Ray, saying it's his opinion that I'm up here manipulating you and everything, when he doesn't even know what the facts are, was pretty much out of line, and I think he owes me an apology. Webster owes me an apology. Not that I actually care whether they do it or not, but they're completely out of line, and these kind of things need to be straight. But Ray has dug himself a hole and has just set himself up for a whole host of legal issues he may be contending with at some point in the future, and I don't think he's ever going to see the light of day again, because nobody is ever going to want to trust him or work with him in any capacity whatsoever for the rest of his life. He just shot himself in the foot. He shot himself in the head.
Yeah.
Is what he has essentially done. So.
Yeah, well, my only concern is, now what kind of trouble is that guy going to start making for me?
Right, because he is a violent individual who enjoys hurting people, threatening people, and trying to dominate people, and he has already said that he's willing to get his friends to go out and cause harm to people and threaten people and that kind of stuff. So, that's obviously a risk for both of us, where both of our personal safety are, a matter of concern now because of him and whoever he's associated with. So, it's just something we got to deal with, but this is the right thing to do. He has, very criminal intentions, and he has a criminal mind, very violent one, willing to concoct lies and all this kind of other BS. And so, but people need to know that, and they need to stop being misled by him and his, delusions of grandeur, which he evidently is suffering from. So I guess we could probably wrap it up there, Eric.
Yeah.
And I'll hopefully this came out good. I'll let you know how that turns out, and then I'll just be in touch with you within the next day or two.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got that over with. Needed to be done.
Okay. Well, you take it easy, and go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to you later then.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Eric.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Well, everybody, if that's not a revelation, I don't know what is. You've heard it from Mr. Eric Dollard himself in response to Ray's allegation against me and other things that have been going on. If you are aware of the drama that's posted in Energetic Forum, where I alluded to nefarious forces or nefarious elements pretending to help Eric, and Ray Savant comes out and labels me as the one who's sabotaging EPD Labs manipulating Eric and everything, you can see clearly I have absolutely nothing to do with it, and he was the one behind the sabotage and the manipulation of others the entire time. So when I posted that, it was very interesting because, if somebody's innocent, they're going to say nothing or they'll ask questions. And the first person out of any of these people surrounding Eric to come forward with not just denials, but to turn around and attack me with it, with what he's guilty of, was the first telltale sign that anybody with common sense can see that he is obviously the problematic person. So anyway, this should clear anybody's mind of any doubt as to what my intentions are, were, or will be with my relationship with Eric Dollard, which is simply I'm going to publish his material. I might help him with some web stuff and some online promotions for his lab and stuff like that. I have no interest in being a regular part of his lab because I don't have a background in it, and I'm busy with my own businesses, my own personal projects, and I certainly don't need another one. I'm in full support of it. Have been and still want to be once everything is set straight with the right people on the board of directors and so forth. And so so if you're in support of Eric Dollard, and this is the first time that anybody is seeing something like this unfold in live time, where everybody can actually see Eric getting attacked by nefarious elements, aka Ray Savant. But the only thing is Eric doesn't have to take off and go protect himself and leave everything behind this time. What my goal is so that everybody is educated on what the truth is about this, and that Eric wants to go forward with the lab. He still needs help and support. There's some different technical things that need to be done at the lab, like wiring in three-phase power and these other things. And the lab will have its own specific purpose with the municipality that it's in down there in its area. And what the public gets out of it for helping to participate by donating funds is that there's these other projects that Eric will be able to develop and do his experiments and will be able to post material on, like the cosmic induction generator and these other things. Because once the lab is doing what it is meant to do with the right people that should be involved with it, what that means is that it's actually going to be able to generate its own income stream, fulfilling its main purpose. So it doesn't have to need any more fundraising after that, and there will be enough funds not only to support itself, but to pay for other projects, like, for example, the cosmic induction generator, which that information will be able to come forward to the public. Okay, so, but the priorities have to be set straight. Can't just be doing these projects to kind of impress people and this and that when the lab isn't on steady footing. So once that's done, then these other projects can come out. And so, Eric is very excited to be able to work on those projects and share them with everybody. But the foundation has to be solid. There's other work that needs to be done with the lab. Those projects have to go forward. Once that's set, then Eric will be sharing, like he always has, a lot of powerful and profound information on these different experiments, cosmic induction generator and other stuff. So stay tuned for those. So in the meantime, I'm not raising funds for the lab or doing anything like that with this video. This is just to show that all these allegations from Ray Savant against me personally are 100% concocted out of thin air. And so first of all, one of the first things to do if you want to support Eric is to basically boycott Ray Savant. Boycott anything having to do with Techzombie. Aether Force website does not represent Eric the way he wants to be represented, and a lot of those things are done without his knowledge or consent. You just heard that. So boycotting Ray Savant, anything dealing with Techzombie, the ericdollar.com, boycott that. That forwards to etherforce.com. Etherforce.com should be boycotted because that is under the control of Ray Savant, who evidently you can tell by this interview with Eric is the primary problem in the whole organization. Not even officially in the organization. He inserted himself and is asserting his own will. And if you read any of the posts in the Ray Savant thread at Energetic Forum, you're going to be able to see that that is exactly what he's doing, and he's open about it, wanting to impose his will. He even says that word for word in relationship to dragging people away from Eric's work in Energetic Forum to build a new forum, and Eric's going to follow him and all this other stuff. Completely ridiculous. So anyway, and another website is keychests.com. keychests.com. That's where Ray is selling Eric's book, Lone Pine Writings, which David Webster put together, and Ray is selling that without the consent of Eric Dollard. He has no permission to be selling that book because the money is not going to where Eric wanted the money to go. So boycotting that website, Key Chests, which as you can see, as Ray Savant is attacking me and my business model with my publishing and the affiliate program and all this, that behind the scenes he is actually replicating the model and trying to copy what I'm doing, trying to knock me off, so to speak. And if you look on keychest.com, you can see this testimonial by TechZ of ericdollard.com, and he's giving a testimonial for how that website helped him achieve his whatever at the Indiegogo campaign. But what's so funny about it, as you saw, is the registrant information goes back to Ray Savant. He owns the website, and here he is acting like some anonymous figure, Techzombie, utilizing KeyChest and giving a testimonial for his own site. Who is he trying to deceive? All of you, everybody he's trying to deceive by pulling those kind of games and those stunts. Okay, so anyway, boycotting Ray Savant and those websites is the first and priority method for supporting Eric Dollard. I'm going to do what I can behind the scenes with the websites and the support and that kind of stuff. And eventually a lot of that's going to have to be handed over to some people at EPD Labs because I can't do that long term, but I do want to do what I can short term to get things on the right track. So anyway, thanks for listening. And hopefully, and also if you are in support of Eric Dollard, please share this video with everybody that you can. Get the YouTube link and spread it like a virus all throughout the internet so everybody can see exactly who to stay away from and who is not trustworthy, because Eric doesn't need to be screwed over again by a bunch of selfish, greedy people who have their own agenda that act completely contrary to what's in the best interest of Eric's organization or Eric Dollard himself. Thank you very much for listening, and stay tuned for more updates, because I'm sure there's going to be some more stuff coming out here. Thanks again.